Okay, so the Bucks versus FTR. I've always been a big fan of when real life problems are worked into storylines. Recently, Cash Wheeler was accused of wielding a driving a road rage in Florida, but the publicly available information would make this a very difficult case for the prosecution to pursue. And likely Cash will be exonerated. With that in mind, do you think it would be in bad taste for AEW to work this into the current Bucks FTR storyline with an accusation that the Bucks put up a friend of theirs up to making the false allegation? No, bro. What they missed on this Bucks versus FTR storyline was the Bucks. FTR is friends with Punk, and the Bucks are friends with Kenny Omega and had the issue with Punk. They never even brought it up, and you could have. Punk wasn't involved in this. It was just the Bucks and the FTR guys. They literally had a good backstory there. They never brought it up, and this match was, the storyline for this was very flat. So, and I don't think you need to do the Cash Wheeler stuff.
Well,
Like,
you're gonna sit down, Disco, with all the experience that you have, booking, performer, all that, and tell me you weren't riveted by that sit down interview they had with the Four. Wait a minute, that didn't make you want to buy it. Okay, I'm just asking. Yeah.
No. All right. Next one's from Irony Mendoza, and the subject is Vikingo. Hello, Conan. You're one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day. Arriba la raza. Disco, you're one of my favorite things back in the day. So thanks for all the booty shaking memories. And Joe, thanks for holding things down. Love the show. Only wrestling show I listen to. I don't even watch the shows anymore. Just listen to your reviews. What percentage of fans do you think that listen to our show don't watch the shows, but just listen for our reviews?
Well,
Joe.
we hear that a lot. So
You hear it a lot, but I wonder what the percentage is. Actually, start.
We're gonna poll. I'm gonna put a poll out.
No. Just we're gonna say this: if you're sending in emails, okay, at the end of the email, just type, did you listen to the shows or just listen to? Do you watch the shows or just listen to the reviews, or both? All right, I want to know what percentage that is. My question is, do you think Vikingo could get over better in the U.S. with a different gimmick? Obviously, he's great in the ring, but his lack of character is only going to get him to a certain point in the States, and the fact that he isn't 100% fluent in English could only deter him. Possibly something like an early Sabu gimmick is suggested by Disco. Obviously, not many people in the U.S. will understand he's a second Vikingo, so maybe giving him some character could help him out. AEW and AAA, not that he needs it in Mexico. Bonus question: what are the chances we can see Conan, Joe, or Disco do the famous gravity walk?
I know Joe's a big fan of the gravity walk.
Yeah, I'll practice.
Keep up the great work from the one and only Irony Mendoza. Look, I still think that you should wheel Vikingo out like a Hannibal Lecter character. He's got he's chained to like he's in police custody. You got him chained to a thing. He's got a mask on. You take the mask off and everything, and you unleash him, and he goes out there and starts doing all this crazy flying all over the place. And the match lasts 5 minutes. Okay, and he gets all his, and it's just like this, like a caged animal that you unleash into the ring. Because I haven't heard the guy speak a word yet, so I didn't. His character to me doesn't even come across as able to speak. And if you presented him like that, I don't think he needs to speak. You could have somebody speaking for him, but I think that'd be cool the way he performs. Just a completely high risk, crazy guy you just unleash, and he goes out there and does all. But come out presented like a superstar with like Hannibal Lecter was wielded by the police that time. I don't know. What do you think of that, Conan? Is there something to that, or is that out of bounds?
No, that's not a bad idea. I'd rather do with a heel, but I could see him getting over with that. But bro, half the have no character development. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this guy just needs a good mouthpiece or something wild like that. Bro, he's one of the 1, 2, maybe number 1 or 2 most exciting wrestler in the world. And they've done nothing with him. That's kind of their fault, not his.
Right. Next one is from Brad Price, and the subject is Texas Chainsaw Match. Greetings, fellas. Love the show. Longtime listener. One of the only wrestling podcasts that hasn't sold out and always keeps it 100. My question... there's the fans can actually see that a lot of the other podcasts are sellouts because they don't keep it. You can tell there's stuff they don't want to talk about or not honest. I don't think we come across like that at all. My question is: the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match is one of the worst gimmick matches of all time, ranking up there with the House of Horrors match. Reverse Battle Royal, the Judy Bagwell on a pole match, and the Scaffold Capture the Flag match between Pia News and Bobby Eaton versus Steve Austin and Red Rooster. My question is: how should this match have been booked? And what's the worst singular gimmick match ever? That should have been booked. What was that gimmick? Me and Borash always used to joke. What was that match that Abyss used to do in Impact where the barbed wire death match? What was it called?
Barbed Wire Massacre.
Barbed wire, yeah. What was it called? Barbed Wire Massacre, right? Is that look
Right.
that up? See the exact.
Barbed Wire Massacre. Oh, and Monsters Ball too.
Okay, but Barbed Wire Massacre, just like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match, right? Just think of like what you're actually promoting. It's like it's supposed to be like based on a sporting event, like live sports. These are professional athletes, and you're having a barbed wire massacre match. Like you're thinking, like, okay, what's supposed to happen here? The guy's gonna are these guys gonna like bleed out and die in the middle? When you think of like a barbed wire massacre, you think of like a person being cut to death. Right, so I've always looked at matches like that as comedic. Like I laugh when I see stuff like this, like because it's so absurd. You know, like having matches like Texas Chainsaw, bro. The Judy Bagwell pole match was to highlight the absurdity of some of these gimmick matches that have been staples of professional wrestling for years, like the scaffold match, like you're trying to innovate, but you just doing ridiculous versions of professional wrestling. What do you think about that?
Well, the thing is that I believe and Joe, see if can back me up on this. I think that was something the sponsor wanted, maybe a video game or something like that.
Yeah, I got a report here. This is from Matt Hardy on his podcast. He said, in regards to the match, I was okay with it. I was happy with what we watched back. You know, there was a company that was paying X amount of dollars for us to support their video game. They had a very specific vision, and our job is to go out there and fulfill it. That's why you saw the weird weapons. They were very specific with many things. We followed that very, very closely, and they were ecstatic at the end of the night. Now, he also said, Tony Khan was really into the idea of doing the match. He was really excited about the sponsorship. They were going to donate a portion of that money to the Maui charity, which is a great cause. But Tony was so into the match, he dressed up as Leatherface. He played Leatherface and ran out to the ring with a chainsaw. How committed to the gig, right? Sorry to spoil that, but Tony Khan was Leatherface running out swinging the chainsaw.
I thought it was really Leatherface. That ruined my whole disbelief. Seriously. In the year 2023, I don't have a problem with stuff like this because, like I said, it came across as comedic to me. It's like funny, but you're not going to do matches like this in 1987 at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, where that's based on real life heat between Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. And you want Dusty Rhodes to kill him, you know? So you know, you're not going to do like stuff like that on, you know, when guys are going out there getting blood and they're really beat, you know, you're trying to sell we're really beating each other up, you know. So I don't know.
Although unfortunately, about 2 years after that, WCW used RoboCop in a match, which is one of the all-time blunders, you know.
Yeah. Well, they had a gorilla too one time. Okay, Cesar Canete had his second email, so he will be suspended. Question for Disco and Conan regarding Eli Drake. Hi, Disco and Conan. My question is regarding Eli Drake or LA Knight, whatever he's called nowadays. Do you think WWE set up Eli Drake to win the Royal Rumble next year and be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns at next year's WrestleMania? He's the hottest thing in pro wrestling right now. The man is getting attitude era level cheers. I never imagined seeing the day Eli Drake being as over as he is now just 3 years ago, who's wrestling doing promos in a small studio in Georgia in front of 100 people for Billy Corgan's NWA. Now he's a rising superstar. Bro, you know what the thing about Billy's show? They had a lot of good talkers on that show. He had Eli Drake and Ricky Starks and stuff. You know,
Eddie Kingston.
It's a good man. That's a good setting for that too. The old school, just guys up there cutting promos at the desk. You know, right? Yeah. Right. So now he's a rising superstar for the biggest pro wrestling company in the world. And because of that, I think WWE will have Eli Drake win next year's Royal Rumble, dethrone Roman at Mania next year because his title is WWE's Premier Championship. Do y'all think so? I don't know. I think we talked about this the other day where I think I talked about it with Vince either on his show or with Joe or on this show when he came on, is that, you know, the fans are kind of when a babyface is getting over, the fans are kind of trying to let you know, hey, keep pushing this guy higher. You know, because they cheer louder each time he comes out, and you've literally seen that with LA Knight. We've seen that with Cody Rhodes. So
Bryan
is LA Knight,
Danielson.
Bryan Danielson, but is his pop as big as Cody's right now? And I would say no. Right, so Cody to me is still the guy right now because his pops are ridiculous. I still can't figure that out. It's like why he just gets these unbelievable monster pops, you know. But LA Knight is getting there, and bro, it takes two to tango, and Miz is doing an excellent job with him here. This is my favorite angle on TV right now is the LA Knight Miz stuff. Did you see Miz on Raw Monday, Conan? Have you watched it yet?
That was great.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like Sam, both of these guys just are nailing this. Like, this is good professional wrestling to me. Two guys that can talk, that have heat with each other, cutting good promos on each other, doing kind of outrageous things. Them coming out dressed, you know. Bro, he's doing great pro wrestling right now. That's what I gotta say about LA Knight and Miz. So
yeah, and Miz being a guy that I haven't always been the biggest fan of, like he's been on fire for a while.
Excellent.
And
bro,
has definitely won. Definitely
he lost like
over.
and bro, coming off, it's like we said, the guy lost to every single match for like 6 months.
Yeah. Yep.
And like that shows that what an excellent performer you are. You're literally immune to getting beat every single night. Now you're walking out there helping get a babyface over to the next level, and you're still over huge, getting massive heat. You know,
and he's jacked too. Have you noticed he's in the best shape he's ever been in? I think
it's great stuff. You know, so what do you think, Conan? Same thing.
A valuable asset, 100%.
What's your favorite stuff in pro wrestling right now? Across all the shows, the things that you're most interested in.
I'm just interested to see where they go. Obviously, with Ray and Dom always first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see what they're going to do with MJF and Cole, which I think they should have done something in London, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm invested in that too.
I'm invested in the LA Knight Miz thing.
Right, me too.
Okay?
Huge.
Judgment Day, because something's going to happen soon.
Right. Yes, with JD McDonough, they're doing They're doing good, decent long-term storytelling here with that. With the guys.
Still waiting to see what they do with Bloodline. Still into that.
Right.
Okay. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head.
Now I'm going to tell you another one. There is one I'm interested in, but they're not doing enough with him because I think he's very and he's nailed it's Cage and Luchasaurus. He should be on every single show. Like he's that good each week. Like every time he's on, he nails everything he does. But he's only on like 2 out of 4 weeks. You know, so like, I'm interested in his stuff every time he's on. So, but I'm not. I just scratch my head. Why is this guy not on every week? You know, it's like that they should be doing more stuff with him. So, but yeah, I'm interested in that, and I'm also interested in Punk versus Jack Perry if that ever happens, which it should.